Good evening. I would like to call the Monday, November 19th, 2018 Eden Prairie Planning Commission to order this evening. Would everybody stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Okay, first item on our agenda is the approval of the agenda. Does anybody have any comments on that? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
I have a motion by Higgins and a second by Kirk to approve tonight's agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Second is our approval of the minutes. The minutes from the Monday, October 22nd, 2018 meeting that we had. Does anybody have any comments about those minutes? Hearing none, I'll entertain another motion.
Mr. Chairman, move to approve the minutes from the Planning Commission meeting dated October 22nd, 2018.
Second.
Thank you. I heard a motion from Kirk and a second from Villarreal. Is that it? Or, I'm sorry, Weber. Thank you. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Informational meetings. I don't believe we have any informational meetings tonight. And I don't believe we have any public meetings tonight. So we'll move on to our one public hearing tonight. Tonight we have a variance, number 2018-05 at 7194 Emerald Lane, request for a variance, requesting a 7.1-foot setback variance for construction of a deck. City code requires a 30-foot setback for lot lines that abut a public right-of-way. Julie, would you take us through the staff report, please?
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, as stated, the request is for an existing, the request for variance is for an existing deck. The deck was constructed at the time that the home was constructed in the early 80s, as was common practice with the time of the issuance of the permit. During that time frame, a deck was permitted as well. However, the deck was not depicted on the survey, but a deck was permitted. The deck has now become a structural hazard. It's aged and needs to be replaced, and the applicants would like to replace it in its current configuration, but also extend it 10 feet onto the deck as well. So any of the new added area would not be any closer to the setback line than is already in place with the existing deck. But because it does not meet that 30-foot setback along a public right-of-way, the variance request is needed. If the applicant were to replace the deck in its current configuration, they could do so because it's a non-conforming structure with a building permit. However, because they want to expand the deck 10 feet, they do need to go through the variance process in order to be allowed to do that. Staff is recommending approval of the variance. The applicant and property owner does have a PowerPoint presentation, and they're here this evening to share that with you as well.
Great, thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions of staff before we ask the applicant to speak? None whatsoever? Okay, well, welcome. And you can approach the podium and introduce yourself with your name and address, please, and we look forward to your presentation.
Hi, I'm Tyler Bischoff,
I'm Katie Bischoff.
and our address is 7194 Emerald Lane. And we have a PowerPoint to go through today.
Okay,
What'd you say? All right, so this is our address. This is our variance application. So I'll just go ahead and get started. So this is a picture of our house. It's, like I said, 7194 Emerald. You can see it's a 3-street footage, so we're surrounded by Emerald Lane, Live Lane, and Valley View. The back of our house is up against Valley View Road. That's where the deck is. So you can see some of the added information here. I'm not sure if you have any questions about that. So this is some existing conditions of our house. You can see it's a split level. The current deck, you can see, comes from the second floor where the sliding glass doors are. As mentioned, it's a 10 by 10 foot deck. The survey, the picture shows that the southeast side of the house is the closest side to the street. So our house like angles away from Valley View Road. And I think that's the last.
I think so.
Yeah.
Anything that anyone needs from that?
Any more questions? All right. So the next thing just shows that current condition, that deck does have some rotting pieces they need replaced. There's some stuff I did to the deck to try to make it better over the last couple years, but
It's fine.
at this point, we just like to redo it. So.
We have 3 small boys. Mom is stressing.
How did I miss that? So here's some more pictures of the deck. So one thing we wanted to mention is that we have a contractor, experienced licensed contractor, who's going to redo the deck for us. He mentions, huh? Oh, yeah. So some of the things he mentioned is that he'll do some updates that will make it better than it currently is, and also bring it up to code. But we're not familiar with all the codes and stuff, so of course he is. So he mentioned some things that he noticed that weren't done properly, so he would do a better job, hopefully.
With attaching, he specified in how the deck is attached to our house, that he would be putting it in a little bit into our home, where right now it's attached with hangers, and that is not safe for us or for the children at this point. And then he also talked to us about the poles he's using that hold it up. And I'm sorry, because I'm not a contractor,
Yeah.
so he spoke to us, I smiled and said, sounds great, but I don't understand. Essentially, he said he would build us the safest deck he possibly could that would last up to 30 years.
So then this is a little sketch that shows how we'll go along the back side of the house, so we won't extend it further into the yard or closer to Valley View Road. So the extra 10 foot would just go along the back of the house and not closer in, like we said. Okay, so our summary here is proposed safety improvements to meet code and modern standards, invest in the property to add more value. So some of the existing conditions, so the property has the 3 public street facings like we mentioned, the rear setback of the house already at the minimum, the sliding glass door, so really it's the best spot for us to add or to remodel at our house. The existing deck already encroaches on the 7.1 foot, so we won't go any further than that. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Bischoff. That was a very thorough and professional
Good. Thank
presentation. Really appreciate that.
Good job.
Stick around at the podium for just a minute, and we'll find out. Commissioners, do you have any questions of the applicants about their presentation or the issue at hand?
I have a question.
Sanchez?
From the easterly position, looking at your house to the west, there's a structure on the right that is lighter colored. Is that a garage? On the east side of the...
The shed.
So that is a shed that was there when we moved into the house.
Does it have a cement foundation?
It doesn't. It's like 4x4s on the ground.
I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, was that a motion by Weber and a second by Kirk? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, we're looking for motion then for approval or not. Anybody care to take a stab?
I think given the unique characteristics of the property, that it's on 3 streets, I mean, that is pretty unique. And I kind of questioned how that was even possible until I saw the map, but I'm all for it. I would move to approve variance number 2018-05 based on staff report dated November 13th, 2018, and plan stamp dated October 12th, 2018.
Second.
You guys want to fight for it?
Yep.
Okay, I have a motion by Medi and a second by Villarreal. Pass it around. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations.
There you go.
Yeah, thank
Your
you.
deck can be
Nice job on
extended.
your research.
Nice job. Very much so.
We done?
I think.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, I don't believe we have a planner's report, Julie?
No, sir.
Nothing? Okay, do we have any members' reports? Hearing none. Any continuing business? I don't believe we had any continuing business from last meeting. Any new business? None? I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll move to adjourn the Planning Commission meeting.
I will second that.
I have a motion by Villarreal and a second by DeSantis. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.